Hello, today I thought I'd talk about planets being debilitated and how to get the most out of your planets. Um, in astrology, in Vedic astrology, planets are only really debilitated at particular degrees. And even strangely, even then, even though there will be a little bit of difficulty with that planet's indications in the chart, nonetheless, though, it's amazing what you can actually manifest through that. So today, that's what I want to do. I want to just reassure everybody that there is light at the end of the tunnel, because I have a debilitated planet in my chart, and I've kind of not knowingly, I've always been aware of it, kind of thing. But I mean, obviously, I came to know astrology a bit later in my life. So if I can actually give you, if you're younger than me, any hope to actually realise there is nothing wrong with a planet that's debilitated in your chart. So basically, in Vedic astrology, we have your D1 or your natal chart. We have our D9 as well, which is like the fruits, the proper sort of like strength of your planets are seen in your D9, not necessarily in your D1. So these are in sidereal zodiac. I'm just going to go through the degrees at which planets are debilitated. So for example, in Aries at 10 degrees, Sun is exalted. 3 degrees of Taurus, sidereal, Moon is exalted. Jupiter, nothing is exalted or debilitated in Gemini, but in Cancer, 5 degrees of Cancer, Jupiter is exalted. Nothing in Leo, at 15 degrees of Virgo, Mercury is exalted. Saturn at 20 degrees of Libra. Nothing is exalted in Scorpio, neither is in Sagittarius. 28 degrees of Capricorn, Mars is exalted, and nothing in Aquarius. And in Pisces, Venus is exalted at 27 degrees of Pisces. Now, in most of the software that we use, it actually, when a planet, like for example, if Sun is like 25 degrees of Aries, it will still say exalted, because just because it's past this degree of exaltation, or is coming to its exaltation degree, it doesn't mean that it doesn't feel happy. It does still feel happy, the planet. And planets at those degrees tend to, or the signs, they do tend to have this proud, they call it proud avashta, which means that their condition, they're just proud, they feel good, they feel confident about their position. Obviously, all of what I'm saying to you is if these planets are not literally sitting, say for example, if your Sun is sitting with a debilitated Saturn in Aries, it's not going to feel great, because they're two enemies, and it's a debilitated planet, so it might be feeling negative, and its positivity of the Sun can be a little bit sort of scarred. But nonetheless, having said that, I think Sun will always do well anyway. Anyway, going back, so I just wanted to say to you that this debilitation, I have a debilitated planet in my chart, and I have to say, unbeknown to me, obviously, because I'm older, and I didn't actually know about Vedic astrology or debilitated planets until a few years ago. And I've been seriously studying Jyotish now, Vedic astrology, for 6 years. And I know I will be continuously studying it now until I lay to rest for good. And unbeknown to me, I've always kind of felt this burden of this planet that was debilitated. But it's really funny, without realising, sometimes you overcompensate for it as well, as I was. So, say for example, I mean, I'm trying to think what planet will be good. I think Mars would be a good one to actually, Mars, yeah, let's do Mars. Because Mars is planet of, what it does, it makes you brave. It's bravery, because it's also, it's a significator of your siblings. Mars is, and or third house. because obviously you're born, your mum and dad, first and second house, and then you have like third house is when you have to share with your siblings. So that's Mercury, where you're negotiating, you're trying to talk, your siblings are you're taking their toys away, or they're taking your toys away. So it's the very first battles there are happening. And so people who have like debilitated Mars, without even realizing, they could actually put up with quite a lot from people around them, because what it is, they're not brave enough to act, because lack of boundaries, actually, possibly. Obviously you have to look at everybody's chart, everybody's different. I'm just giving you an example of what can happen. So this Mars is not brave. So when you go to take his toy, it's not saying, no, it's mine, don't touch it. It kind of like allows you to take the toy, and you're sitting there sort of like in your heart, you're feeling all these like horrible feelings. Oh, they're taking my toy, I didn't want them to touch it, they didn't ask for permission, I don't want to share. All these kind of things are going through your head. And whereas if you're so what happens is you hold on to these feelings, and it happens again and again and again, and resentment and bitterness sets in. So when you actually say things, all this stuff starts coming out, which is nothing. So like your sibling or your whatever, or partner, you suddenly start going on, you've done this, and I've been putting up with this, and they're just like saying, "Whoa, hold on a minute, I had no idea I was affecting you like that." So because you haven't actually set boundaries and told them from the beginning, please don't do this, or if you do it, can you do it like this? So now they are coming from a position like, okay, I had no idea upsetting you. And so in a relationship, actually, it can suddenly come out and go from like 0 to 100 miles per hour, and you can actually ask for a divorce or separation, because like your partner has got no idea that you have been building all this resentment, or so this is how it can. I mean, obviously this is just an example, but you can actually think about this on your chart. And I do really recommend that, because I think in this day and age, in the 21st century, everybody needs to actually succeed and do well. You need to have a debilitated planet, because I've noticed with people who have really, really strong charts, they have not just like exalted planets, but they have lots of what they call Raja Yogas. I will come to that. I'll do videos for that, because this is another part of Vedic astrology. It's so amazing. So basically, if they just feel as though things should work out for them easily, because it has in a previous life, or they've worked on things in a previous life. Now in this lifetime, they just like getting the fruits of their life. I guess it's a little bit like, for example, President Trump. So he was probably thinking he was naturally going to, well, people love me, of course they do, and they're going to vote me in. I don't want to get into politics, and I'm really sorry if this is just an example. So, they can't see how things cannot work for them, because they always have had what they wanted, and all of a sudden they can't have what they wanted. So, but so many of very, very famous people have debilitated planets in their charts. So, for example, Jennifer Lopez has debilitated Mars on her ascendant. So has Meghan Markle. I'm just trying to think of some more. Nothing's coming to mind. Actually, yeah, Barack Obama has got debilitated Jupiter on his ascendant, and I think Meryl Streep has debilitated Jupiter in her 7th house. So these are just like a few sort of like examples, but I don't want you to ever worry about it. But I do think you should try to get the best out of it, and I will do more videos, more examples for you. But it's really crucial to see that. Right, I'm going to go from D1, which is your natal chart now, to your D9. D9 is the is the true value and condition of your planets. It's seen in your D9. So it could be that you think your Venus or Jupiter or Mercury, whatever it is debilitated in your, or you thought it was exalted in your D1 chart, and it could be completely the opposite in your D9. So that can happen as well. You could have an exalted planet, like exalted Venus, in your D1, your natal chart, but actually in reality that is not the case in your D9. So it's a debilitated Venus in there. So it just means that you're picky in your relationship, pick faults with your partner. So what you can do with this is, when you find whether it's your D1 or D9, it's really good to actually really concentrate on what it is. Where am I coming from? That place of lack. I don't want to do that. Actually, affirm that to yourself and tell yourself that you're going to start a new chapter, and you're going to come from a place of knowledge, self-knowledge and awareness, and you're going to make the most of your planets. So again, going back to that Venus is, so on the surface, I would look at this person's chart and think, wow, they have an amazing Venus. It's exalted, it's doing really well. Exalted Venus means obviously they just have this, they can enjoy life, they can bring about money and good relations with women, possibly good relationships as well. And they can, that enjoyment of life is there. And then actually when you speak to them without looking at their D9, they'll be saying, well, actually I don't have very good relationship, I've never been able to have good relationships and things like that. And you realise that actually in D9 the planet was debilitated. A debilitated planet, you don't get, because obviously every planet, every house, every sign has lots of different indications. You don't necessarily, it doesn't mean that you will suffer from every single signification of that planet at all. So for example, if you have a debilitated Mars, it could just be that you have terrible relationship with your siblings, or you're not brave, or you are scared of traveling or something. Do you know, it doesn't mean that every single thing to do with that planet is suffers, not at all. So this is why it's very important to know that. So anyway, this is what I wanted to touch. So this is going to be like the first video, I think, because there's so many things to say about this, and we need to discuss debilitated planets as well. But I just wanted you to know that don't think your planet is debilitated for life. It isn't, and you can make a difference to that. And just seeing somebody like Barack Obama or Jennifer Lopez, you can see that they have worked on that, and they've been aware there's been issues and sorted that problem out. I'm just going to very quickly just touch on the fact that the moment you make a contract with yourself and you try to see the positive in yourself, in your chart, and okay, this is the issue that I have, I'm going to work on this. It's not down to anybody else. This is the chart I chose, and these are the problems I want to sort of look after at this point in my life. Make them like a list, task list. I love a task. I love a challenge. So just like start working on it, and one by one tick them. And I will do remedies, and some of them you can manifest fabulous things actually. So anyway, that's a very quick one. So I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching.